If I look back on life and everything like that, it was always there. My mom growing up, she was like, "You're going to go to art school." And I was like, this, like anything else, is you got to put in, I call it the game. You got to play the game. And, and the game is just like anybody, in anybody's industry, you got to go out and meet people. And the second you go out and meet people, that creates the relationship, and then they're going to hire you. You know, somebody says, "Oh, here's a Bruce Green painting, original," and then I did this one with ChatGPT. It's a fake, and it can't be. It might look the same, but the authenticity of a paint stroke that somebody did, I think, can be recreated in AI and probably will look like that. But deep down in my heart, I hope it doesn't. Because what are we going to do? That's what I worry about. What are we all going to do?
Welcome to the Landowner Insider, the podcast for Texas landowners who want to stay up to date with current events shaping our state. Here we talk about issues that actually impact your Texas lands, markets, water, wildlife, policy, and the decisions that are shaping our state. I'm your host, Kasey Mock with the Mock Ranches Group. And in each episode, we sit down with the people who are shaping the future of Texas. We're not afraid to ask the hard questions. This is the Landowner Insider podcast presented by the Mock Ranches Group.
He had asked, tell me your name one more time. Josh had asked about the office, if it was a new build.
This?
Yeah.
Oh. It is beautiful. I mean, on the inside, it looks very old. From the outside, it looks new.
So the office is built in two sections, split levels. You can see. And I'm told around 100 years ago is the first part of it. It has been a jail and a bar, saloon, attorney's office, a CPA office. My wife and I bought it like 18 months ago. We moved in last June. So this wall is all a block wall. So if you ever been to like the Alamo or some old historic building, you see the crumbling block walls. Yeah. That's what's behind this rock. Huh. When we bought it, it was all like sterile inside. It was white walls, industrial carpet, all cut up. There was twice as many rooms in here and 8-foot ceilings. And so we had my wife does a lot of our design stuff like at our house, and she designed all this. So we had somebody come in and just gut the whole thing, gut everything you can gut, so we can see what we can start with. It was a shame because it was a new remodel. You could have eaten off the floor. It wasn't a hole in the wall. Huh. But we gutted everything and started over. And that's when we found the block wall.
So it was covered up? Like this wall?
Was sheetrock.
Really?
Yeah, we did this German smeared rock on here. But behind that is a block wall, an old masonry wall. Yeah, but we had to cover it because it was dusty and powdery, and you couldn't have hung anything on it. You know?
I mean, I like the way what you guys did. I think it still keeps the aesthetic of the old building looking like the way what you guys did. So I like it. I'm a fan of old things.
Me too. Well, I couldn't tell,
but I don't know. It like the wood feels like it's from
intentional.
Yeah.
So if you go to the wood supply store today to get wood flooring for a house, most of it is 6 to 8 foot planks. We've remodeled old houses, and you should come to our house because we've got old 1800s timbers in there and a bunch of old, it's really cool stuff. But we wanted a wood floor that looked like if you went across the road right there to that house, it was probably built in the, I don't know, 40s or 50s, 60s, something like that. And you strip the carpet out of that house across the road, and then there'd probably be some linoleum under the carpet. And under that linoleum would have been a 2-inch oak plank. And you could refinish it and have a nice wood floor that somebody decided to cover one day. And so we wanted that look in here like this was an original old oak floor that we refinished. It's not. It's new. It is real oak hardwood, but it's new. And we wanted to look. That timber that's there in the corner, there's bunches and bunches of those in our house, but those are 1800s hand-hewn stuff from Michigan. So
I like it. My house is in 1928.
I love it.
And we just remodeled
98 years old.
Yes. And we remodeled it. We kept the integrity of the outside and on the inside. And we found in Dallas, they'll go, it's called Or Reed, and they'll go in, and like somebody's tearing down a house, they'll go in there and take everything out and then like even like the old pine or oak like studs in the walls. They'll take those out and turn those into flooring.
Yeah.
So we bought
those would have been old, like real 2-inch by 4-inch stuff. Big
and
stuff.
so the flooring that we have in our house is reclaimed like 1900. I don't know if I think it's pine, but they just refinished it and made it into a tongue and groove.
I love it.
So we added on 500 feet to fit the same like look that we have throughout the house because it's original floors, pier and beam. And
in a world of artificial, there's a lot of value in something that's
100%.
That's old and original and tangible 100%. And has a story.
Yep.
That's what you do for a living.
It is what I do for a living.
Tell stories.
Tell stories. And we probably will touch on it, but I hope AI doesn't take my job one day. Because AI is useful, but I don't think it can go where I go. It might be able to do it, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm glad you came. So I called Scott Slusher. Thanks for coming to Stephenville. Yeah. Good to see you. I've known of Scott's work for a long time. He can tell you what he does, but you're a Western arts photographer, cinematographer, lifestyle. You can tell us all about that.
Commercial.
You and I know each other through Cowboy Spring Gathering. Mm-hmm. I've known your work for a long time. When I first saw you at Spring Gathering, I was like, oh, that's Scott Slusher. It's Scott Slusher and Red Steagle and Bruce Green. It's like these three guys, And turns out everybody's just a regular old guy.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming, man. I had an opening and wanted to just spend some time visiting, getting to know you and what you're so passionate about. Some of the same things, big ranches and the lifestyle that we involve and enjoy. So,
Well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm glad to always come to Stephenville and hang out and just get to know things. My phone's going off over there.
I don't know if that's mine or yours.
It's mine.
I heard one of them dinging around.
Yeah, I can turn it off over
No,
there.
that's all good. That's all. They can't hear it.
No. I can though, but yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time to having me out. So I appreciate it.
What do you got going new? I saw something on your Instagram that's it'd be featured in a miniseries, something a bar. What is that? Is that a light?
I'm just throwing things on the wall to see if they stick. To be honest with you.
Got it.
But no, my job is to hustle. And so, everything is real on my Instagram, but that image that I printed out and all kind of stuff is going to be, I just said show and everybody just ran with that. And it's going to be at an art show.
Awesome. So, got it.
But, every day is a new day. And, at the beginning of every job I'm hired, at the end of every job I'm fired. So, I am a freelance commercial photographer, so I do a lot of advertising, but also do smaller stuff too. So I don't do any weddings, but anything that comes my way, I usually don't say no to. So
if I ever get married again, which I don't,
I'll just be a guest.
Yeah, you're invited, but it won't be with a camera.
Unless it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
I've done a few weddings and they were just train wrecks. No offense to any of the people that watched this, that I was their photographer at their wedding, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's like asking somebody who's really good at their job to go do something completely.
Yeah, something's very different.
Yeah. And I'm a great people person, but it's all, what I say is like a company comes to me and they have an idea for a photo shoot, and I can make that idea into something bigger, and we can work together and make that into something that is advertising, and you can use it and go with it and run with it. But I can't make somebody's dream come true. Mm-hmm. And that's what a wedding is a dream and it should be a dream. But if you talk to a lot of people, everybody that got married, like, I liked my pictures, but I'm not really going back to look at them. I don't think, me personally, I'm sure a lot of people go back and look at their wedding pictures and like, oh, that was great. And I don't
think I've looked at mine since I got married.
No.
Yeah. Look at my wife a lot, but I like the photos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what it's more about and I'm a big proponent of, I go to plenty of places where I pull out my phone and take pictures of things and take pictures of whatever. But there's a lot of things you should be present for, and I think that's something that you should be present for as a wedding. Because that's two people that are hopefully going to spend the rest of their life together, and you want to be present for that that ceremony.
Yeah.
But
I saw you last April, first part of April, end of March. When was spring gathering?
Yeah, I think it's
somewhere right in there.
Yeah, somewhere right in there. April. So I can't remember that. I think it was around April 15th or something like that.
And you were about to go on the road to a lot of spring work and stuff after that?
Yeah.
Where all did you end up?
There's some friends of mine. They have a ranch up in north of White Deer and all around White Deer. And so for a month for sure, probably 2 months, they're dragging calves every day. And so I went for
pretty big outfit.
Yeah, 2 weeks. They lease a lot.
They're neighboring a bunch too, or is it?
There's some neighboring. Yeah. They don't do as much neighboring. Like the turkey track is on one side of them, so they used to neighbor with them, but the turkey track folks are busy doing their own thing, and they're busy doing all their stuff. So it's called the X Cross X Ranch, and like yourself, two twin brothers run the cattle operation, and then their other brother runs the farming, and so they are big proponents of you got to do everything to make a ranch work. So they're going all the time. It's literally the most busy family I've ever been around. Like, get up at 4 a.m. and we're not done till 10 o'clock that night. And they're showing cows, and I mean, they're training horses. They're doing all of it. So
all of it.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I was up there. I took a week off in the middle, even though they were still doing stuff, but I hate to be gone from my family that long too.
Yeah.
So,
and are you working for the ranch, or you're shooting content? I
was shooting content. I was shooting, I won't call it content, but there was some stuff. During those jobs, I was gainfully employed by the Best Hat Store. And so, I
saw your recent commercial at Best Hat that you put out and Best Hat's put out.
That's an old one. Okay. And I just, I put that back on my Instagram feed because early on when that came out, you couldn't put a full 2 minutes and 50 seconds on Instagram.
Yeah, it was only 60 seconds or something. Yeah.
And so now I wanted the full commercial to be on there, and I had it, and I wanted to pin it to the top of my my Instagram page. So I run my Instagram page almost like a website, an alternative website to my website. And so that's aesthetically a gift, a God-given gift is aesthetically, I like to see things pleasing on my Instagram feed. So some things I care about, some things I don't, but I want those top 3 to be, if a client comes to my page, they can see I did this, and I did this.
What's your Instagram handle?
Slusher Photo.
Got it.
My last name, and then just photo at the back at the back end of it. But
you only do Western stuff or other?
No, I've I have done ad campaigns for Mary Kay.
You dress differently when you go shoot for
that? Well, funny enough is I had to take, it was a 2-week job where I took portraits of the Mary Kay ladies, and it started out as, the first year I did it started out as just, here's an open line for me to take pictures. And and that's kind of where I got my friends of the West. I'm a big Richard Avedon fan, and I'm just paying homage to Richard Avedon, who did, he took portraits of people on a white background.
Okay.
And he was a huge, fashion photographer, New York, LA, like all over the world, basically. But he wanted to simplify things and just shoot just regular people and put them on a white background. And so he traveled around every summer and just basically would go to, some small town and be like, hey, you mind if I take your picture? And so he'd put them on this white background and do all that kind of stuff. And so I was kind of like, me being having to hustle all the time is like, I was like, man, I need something else to kind of just take pictures of my friends or the people that I meet. And so that's one of the things that I did was that, I don't remember the original question. I got to thinking about something else.
Oh, if you dressed like cowboy.
Oh yeah. So Mary Kay. And so I would dress like this. I would wear a cowboy hat, and so I was taking pictures of all these ladies, and I think I had to take 80. I was allotted 80 women a day to take pictures of, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
And some of these ladies would be shaking. They were so nervous to get their picture taken, which I don't know why. But I would take my hat off and be like, "Hey, I'm Scott Slusher. It's nice to meet you." And they were like, "Oh my gosh." And I would be like, "Hey, where are you from?" And one lady might say, "I'm from Elko, Nevada." I was like, "Elko, Nevada? I know Elko, Nevada." And I was like, "The poetry gathering's there," or something like that. And they were like, "Oh my gosh." And so I had anywhere for 32 seconds to talk to, as much as 32 seconds to get to know somebody, and then put them on that background and take their picture.
They settle down.
Yeah. And so most of the time I would take about 30. Somebody wasn't like tugging on my shoulder like, "Hey, you need to hurry up." But I'm sure like the first 2 days I was really trying to get through the women. But after like on the third day, I was like, all you people can just hang out. I'll spend as much. If I'm got a nice conversation happening, I'll spend like a minute and a half with somebody, or maybe 2 minutes, and just take the picture. But all that stuff turned into billboards in Times Square in New York City, which is
no kidding.
I never ever thought that my photography would ever end up in New York City in Times Square. And they flew us out there 2 years for me and my wife and my son to go see all the images in Times Square.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So I mean, if my wife says all the time, she's like, "I don't care what you do, just bring home some money." So I mean, if I don't know, this is a PG podcast, but if Playboy called, I'd be like, "Sure, whatever."
You shoot there too.
Yeah, whatever.
Cowboy.
Yeah. Might be a Western thing. You never know.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up? How'd you end up in photography?
It was actually, if I look back on life and everything like that, it was always there. My mom growing up, she was like, "You're going to go to art school." And I was like, I don't even know what that like.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Okay.
My dad worked for Oklahoma State University. He was a veterinarian, and he was a thoroughbred racehorse breeder. He started the Vet Med Ranch, which is west of town in Stillwater, in 1978, and ran that until 1998 is when I graduated high school, and that was his last year. Then he went overseas and he was a horse breeder over there.
So did you grow up riding racehorses?
No.
Raising horses or anything?
Crazy enough, I've never even been to a horse race before.
No kidding.
Never been.
Wow.
He was a veterinarian. He went to K-State. One of my grandfathers was a rancher in Council Grove, Kansas, and then the other one was a farmer in Udall, Kansas. And the farming grandfather let me do anything I wanted. The rancher grandfather basically tied me up to a horse trailer. So that's probably the reason why I get horseback as much as I do, is because that's what I've always wanted to do. That's what I want to do every morning.
Yeah.
Is get horseback. And I try to find a way to get horseback. And that's through taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And so once I started, it was actually my wife's idea. I went to fashion design school in Dallas.
Okay.
I graduated high school. I started in Stillwater. I lasted maybe a few days in college, and I'm a full flavored kind of guy, so I like to have a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun in those days, and I didn't go to class very often. So that was
You have that option in college, though.
Yeah, I mean,
college teaches a lot more than what's in a book.
My parents lived overseas. They didn't ask a single question. My parents still don't ask a single question. They're just worried if I can pay the bills from time to time, because it wasn't until, I know we're skipping all over the place, but
no, this is.
We went to
coffee shop talk, man.
Yeah. We went to go see my grandparents in Council Grove, and I don't know if my grandfather was still alive or not, but we stopped in, it was a family trip, and we all stopped in Cottonwood Falls, Kansas, to have lunch real quick. And we went into this restaurant which is downtown, and there was a bunch of cowboys in there. And they all knew who I was, and that's what until that moment, my parents didn't know what I did.
No kidding.
Until I had like some type of recognition from just some everyday working cowboys. And they all were like, oh my God, it's Scott Slusher. It's Scott Slusher. And my mom and dad were like, well, what's going on here? And my dad ended up knowing one of them who used to work for my grandfather. And so he had like oh my gosh, like I know this cowboy kind of deal. So it was kind of a neat moment for
Your parents probably thought you might have been posing in one of the magazines.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But they would always
Scott Slusher.
They were like, and that was about the same time. Instagram was a big once I started doing, so the Western world is huge right now. And
That's big.
Yes. And
I hope it can last.
Oh, me too.
But it's big.
Yeah, it's big. When I started Instagram, it was hardly any at all. And
what year was that?
Gosh, I don't know. Like maybe 2013, 14, 15 was when I kind of started taking and posting, because I would go to some buddies that cowboyed and all kind of stuff that had their own cows and all kind of stuff, and I would be like, hey, can I come out and take pictures? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. I don't understand why. And so I didn't really have a spot for all these pictures for them to go, except for maybe my website. So once Facebook,
which driving traffic to an individual website's pretty tough.
Yeah. And so Facebook and Instagram kind of happened, and then it just the photographers and the creative directors and the people that I looked up to in, like, because Dallas is a big commercial market. There's a lot of, that's my other point. It's like I started out doing fashion photography, but in order for me to make kind of a splash with my own style, there was already a lot going on. So I was like, all right, why don't I try this? And I was still doing that. And I still, if JCPenney's calls or Neiman Marcus or any fashion company calls, I'd be like, yeah, I'll come shoot, whatever. So, and I started, but that was a big, like once I started posting things of my getting horseback and doing things, those photographers and creative directors that were in the Dallas area were coming to me and being like, wow, what you're doing is amazing. And I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. So it was like a little bit of a, push on the back that you can make this happen. Cause even my wife was like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to buy a saddle. What are you going to buy a saddle for? Like, you're going to trade this truck in for like a diesel truck? Like what, why? Like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I can't be showing up in something that looks like, like if I showed up in a BMW, like that'd be weird.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So I've gathered things along the way, and I owe everything to the people that I hang out with and the people that have taught me the way, because I didn't grow up cowboying. I always wanted to do it, but I've learned everything from the folks that I put myself around. Yeah. And that's what I owe everything to is those people.
One of my business coaches always says you get to pick your profits. It's one of the great things about life.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Pick who you model.
Yeah.
Pick who you model. Everybody's got a different style in the cowboy world. You got buckaroos and all kinds, man.
Yeah.
Tell by their hats the way they shape them.
Yeah.
Usually their hat and the size of the saddle horn on their saddle, length of their rope.
100%.
Yeah.
They can all do it good too.
How did you end up, like you've worked on, what are the big named ranches, the Sixes? And
Spade Ranch. Man, I don't know.
You photoed
Ari
a bunch
Brown
of
Ranch. I've been on the Ari Brown Ranch a couple times. Everybody kind of moves around a lot too. So it's kind of, and I a lot of people think that I get invited a lot of places. I basically have to invite myself to a lot of places.
Yeah.
But I like to go where my friends are. I'll go to any ranch. I don't care where it is. But
yeah, when you say people, you're talking about the cowboys will move around ranch to ranch, and you're kind of going where those relationships are working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes like a Tyler Terry or a Josh Beavers or something like that, or like any of the cowboys that I hang out with, like they'll be like, hey, Slush, why don't you come out? Why don't you come hang out for a week? Sixes is a little bit tougher these days because
these days,
for sure, because there's they've already got their people.
Everything's licensed.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, So, but like, you know,
But I would think if any of these ranches opened their gate and said, "Hey, anybody want to come take pictures?" They'd have a line of people down the road. So, you obviously get the invitation.
Yes. I mean, I ask, and then it's like, well, all right, well, and I try to make out my schedule, but a lot of times it's kind of it's very last minute on a lot of places that I go to. Like the X Cross X, I have an open invitation they said for the rest of my life. So that's why I like going, is because I get to, and like this year was I made it different than it was last year. I was like, they have so many people dragging and flanking and all kind of stuff. I was like, I want to be in the rotation more this year. And so he was like, all right. So anytime I was standing around, he was like, Slusher, what are you doing? Get over here. I was like, oh yeah, sorry. I got a job to do. Perfect. Because I kind of changed up the way I kind of shoot a little bit too, is I have a smaller camera that I put around my neck. And it used to be I would carry like a big camera, and, I'd hold it in my hand the whole time and get around. But these days I can put things down and help out a little bit more and still have that camera around my neck too. So it's a lot easier.
You know a guy named Brad King?
I don't think I do.
Brad photos for us for a long time. So Brad and I first started working together probably 15 years ago. He was getting into photography, and we were trying to scale our business, and he needed work, and we didn't have much money, right? And so we put Brad on a little retainer, basically. Effectively what it was, put Brad on a little retainer. And he was wanting to get in with bigger brands, Yeti and Cinch and whoever else he wanted to work for. And back in those days, the way I interpreted it, you can probably tell me differently. The way I interpreted it is you would have to put together content and pitch to them and see if they'll take it. But you're doing all this on your own dollar, your own time, your own dollar to produce this piece that you're going to pitch and say, hey, remember the Yeti Presents videos, and they had all these, they highlight all these people. They're so awesome.
Yeah.
They don't seem like they do them much anymore, but they were awesome. So Brad was doing some of that stuff. And I needed photos taken of our ranches, but also of our lifestyle to promote, just like what you do. So Brad would come take all these, and then he would come back, and the deal was, the trade-off was, you can use any of this. Photo, whatever you want. I need a package for this ranch. You can use the rest of it. And is that kind of how you got started too? You'd go to these brandings and go to the ranches and go to the wagon, and then you'd pitch that to a brand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's, and this, like anything else, is you got to put in, I call it the game. You got to play the game. And and the game is just like anybody in anybody's industry, you got to go out and meet people. And the second you go out and meet people, that creates the relationship, and then they're going to hire you. But you also have to fulfill that with your photos or your video and all kind of stuff. So most all of my clients, I can text message and keep in touch with them and be like, hey, what's going on, you guys? I haven't heard from you guys in a little while, so I'll just text people or email. I mean, like any of that kind of stuff. And so that's basically, I just need me going out and doing stuff on my own makes things happen, and me posting to my Instagram makes things happen. There are a lot more people doing it, so the water is thicker with people, but I've been doing it for so long that, the up and coming people probably don't charge as much as I do, but I have the experience that, talking with a creative director, talking with, making something happen and being like, all right, this is what we need to do. This is the people we need to get. This is how we're going to do it. And most of the time, if like a Tecovas calls or, or something like that, they ask a lot of questions, like how can we do this or how can we do that? And they probably know already, but they just kind of want my 2 cents on what the best way to do it. And I'm like, we did a Tecova shoot either beginning of last year, and it was like, hey, we want to do this. And I'm like, well, let's get these guys. And they were like, because I want to use models too, but I want it, depending on if it's just going to be me on set, then yeah, we can make anything work. But if I got some video people that that aren't really customary with how a cowboy does something, then I kind of got to watch them and be like, so they're not in the way, creating some type of friction or something like that. So I got to kind of have to manage that person. So what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, let's get these real cowboys that have the look. And they'll be like, well, is a real cowboy going to wear something like this? I'm like, well, there he is right there. He's wearing it. And he's doing everything that you want him to do in those. So let's just do it.
Authenticity is a big deal.
Big deal.
I can tell it is to you.
Yeah, it is to me. It is to me.
You can tell when there's a commercial shot that's not authentic or it's somebody that actually isn't.
Yeah. And
cowboy.
Or
a hunter or anything. I mean,
yeah. And but it's so hard. It's like, I understand where, you know, the shows and the movies that come out, because it's, you know, you got all these people doing stuff, and that main person who's in charge of it has to delegate all these other people too. And it's like the authenticity kind of has to be a roller coaster a little bit, because, you know, and I know that, you know, like, I know that Taylor Sheridan does like, you know, however long before they start shooting that kind of stuff, they're all those people are coming to get horseback, and they're doing like a horseback, you know, for like 2 weeks before, or even a month or something like that.
Horseback boot camp.
Yeah. And just getting refreshed. I mean, I have to do that when I'm going, you know, and helping and team roping and all that kind of stuff, and dragging calves. Like, I haven't done it since last year or something, you know, like dragging calves. So it's kind of like, I need a little boot camp before I get going too. So, I mean, it's understandable, but the authenticity is for me, yes, I want it to be as authentic as possible. And I think that it's even going to be even more moving forward, because AI is, I don't know. I think it's a helpful thing, but also it's also something that authenticity is going to be something even more. And I had a conversation with Bud Forrest not too long ago, and he was like, let's just start shooting film again, because that's as authentic as you can get. And I'm like, all right. So I did. I busted out my very first film camera not too long ago and took some pictures. And I'm slowly working and bringing that into my repertoire, but we'll see where it goes from here.
You and Bud have a real similar style, it seems like.
Yeah. Bud is the best. Man, he's so cool. He does such good work. And that's a different thing with me.
Well, you do too.
I do. I love what I do. I think that, but there are so many good photographers out there. That's the other problem, is like, there's so many good photographers out there. And I don't, you know, if I'm on a ranch and I've been to ranches where there's other photographers and stuff like that, and I don't get competitive at all. At one bit. Like, let's all, we can all, that's the same way with anything you do. If we all line up and I gave everybody here a picture and set everybody's cameras exactly the way mine is, all of our pictures are going to look completely different. And that's just the way it is. Everybody has a different eye. And I was given this eye.
You do the video edit also?
No. I'm terrible at editing videos. I just shoot it. Yeah. Oh, like videos or stills?
Well, like the Best Hats commercial.
Yeah, I didn't edit that.
You didn't do that. Did you you shot the video?
I put somebody everywhere I would go.
Okay.
So I directed.
You only shoot the stills. You directed the video, and then you only shoot the stills.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yeah. So that video, it was a 2-man. If you go and look at it, I found all those people, figured out when we were going to shoot it, put that camera guy in all those spots, and he had his own, you know, like his own deal where he knew, like, all right, this is all about the hat, so let's just do this. And we would play with each other. We would work together. Obviously, I work well, but it's like I would be like, all right, I would sit right here for this shot, and then from there you can either move this way or this way. And so, you know, I wouldn't be like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm like, hey, you start here and then you go anywhere you want to from here. You can't get in any trouble right here. And so he just went with it. But there was, we went to Jason Pelham's, and that was at the Spade Ranch. And we were there, I think for 2 days, 2 or 3 days. shooting that. And that was, Pelham's is a longtime friend of mine. He taught me a lot. I bought a horse from him. That was my second horse. Still got him. He's 19 or 20 now. He's pretty much semi-retired. And then we went to Jeff Besner's house. He was one of the guys that I met from Munster, Texas. He's from Lindsay, but my wife was born in Munster, and so I met him through the crew I used to hang out with in the Munster, Lindsay, Gainesville area. And so we went to his house, and that was kind of like the family situation that was going on there. And then, man, I'm blanking on his name. Put on the American. He comes to the Cowboy Spring Gathering. Tall guy, family, love him to death. He's probably going to watch this and be like, you guys didn't remember my name.
You get your chat bot out.
But he was putting on that rodeo, and we went to that at the Will Rogers. We shot in the Will Rogers before the Dickies Arena was built. And so, and actually on that bronc was Tell Good was riding that bronc, and he got bucked down hard.
Yeah, he got dumped.
He did. And Tell still doesn't like it that he made it on there. So, and then we shot. That was when the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo was happening, because Americans obviously they love anything to do with the American flag and American all kind of stuff. And so we shot the opening ceremony, and that was my contacts there with the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, and they were like, "Yeah, Slush, you can go anywhere you want to." There was like in the Will Rogers, they had these little perches that you get on, and where the camera guys would sit, and there was one of those that was empty, and so I sat on one of those for that opening ceremony and stuff like that.
How
and
cool
I'm
is
actually in that commercial a couple of times. You'll kind of see some long-haired hippie in that you're like, oh, that kind of looks like Slusher.
Vans on.
Yeah, I got them on now. But no, it was fun. I posted that the other day, and Pelham was like, man, that's some good memories. And I was like, I have to keep telling myself that I produced that whole deal. So there's people that helped, but like basically putting that timeline together, and it took a while to do it. And then I just basically was over the guy's shoulder being like, yes, let's put that together. Let's put this together. Let's do this. Let's do that.
What brands are you shooting for now? What you're excited about?
Man, everybody asks me. I have a hard time remembering things, to be honest with you. This year,
Tecovas and Best Hats.
Yeah, Tecovas Best Hat,
which is American Hats.
American Hat. Yeah, it's their mother.
It's different organization. Best Hats to American. I know there's overlap there, but
so the owner is Susan Maddox.
Yeah,
she owns American Hat, and then she owns Best Hat Store. So that's they say their mothership store, and so that's where. Back when Susan and Keith, who has passed away, they originally tried to buy American, I believe in the 80s. And I can't remember when. I'm going to get this wrong, you guys. I'm sorry. But they tried to buy it, and they got the money to buy it from the family that had it. And I can't remember what something happened, and it fell through. And so what they did is Keith and Susan bought that Best Hat Store, and then they started shaping their own hats, and Best Hats had their own line of hats inside that store.
Got it.
So they were shaping and doing their own hats in there. And then American came back up for sale, and that's when they bought it. And then they moved it to Bowie. It was in Conroe, Texas. But it's been in Bowie for a long time now.
I can imagine the humidity in Conroe, Texas has something to do with hats.
Yeah.
I don't like humidity.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just I call American and Best Hat. That's part of the family. And I mean, if I called them right now, they'd be like, yeah, what do you need? So they're family members, and I love them to death, and everybody that works for them is super great. Everybody is super great. So
I don't have a good enough mustache to work in there.
yeah, Danny's got a good one.
He does have a good one. He shaped this hat, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he shaped this hat.
Nah.
What's changing? You mentioned AI a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Dude, our industry's changing a ton too, but I did a good mutual friend of ours, Bruce Green, and Tyler Crow, artists. There's some of their art in here. There's a bunch of it in my house, and they're involved at Spring Gathering with us. I think those guys' work is incredible. I got a lot of respect for artists, yours, theirs, all of it. Right?
Unbelievable.
I love stuff that's original and authentic. Like I'm not an IKEA furniture guy. Some people are, and that's nothing wrong with that. I'm not an IKEA furniture guy. I like original stuff that's, what you might call handmade. I know everything's probably made by some form of a person, and that's good, right?
Yeah.
Employing people. But I like original, and I like authentic. And Bruce talked to me for a long time about when they were getting started going to the big ranches, to Matadors and Sixes, and going out to the Palo Duro Canyon to the JAs back, I guess this would be the 80s probably. He and Red and Rob Farrell and a group of those guys, they'd go out and help at the wagon. But that was his inspiration. You got to see how a ranch horse moved. And he was telling me that if you look back at paintings that are trying to depict the 1800s and 1700s Native Americans and old trail drive cowboys, and if you see big muscled up horse, it's not very authentic. It's not what they rode back then. You can look at their saddles, and their saddles were not near as wide as what we ride today. And so have you been to Bruce's studio in Clifton? So, he's got a little round pen corral right outside the studio where he can just watch a horse move around and see how his stifle flexes and see how his lower leg and his ankle moves and how the muscles move in his hip. And it's not always the flattering halter horse look, that you're after. And, so I appreciate those things, right? So Rusty Phillips, who also goes to Spring Gathering, Rusty and I are going in 2 weeks to New Mexico for a week, and Brent Lyday, who goes Spring Gathering. The three of us will go with the big group of people to New Mexico here in a couple weeks, and we'll ride like 100 miles in 5 days up in the mountains.
Dang.
And so Rusty sends Brent and I a text 2-3 days ago, and it's a painting that he had found. He's a cowboy poet, so he travels around. I think he took this picture of a painting in Elko, and it was a cowboy with a border collie dog off of his horse under an aspen tree, and his horse is right beside him. It's a beautiful painting. And Rusty says, 2 weeks out, can't wait. And I said, yeah, if the heat in Texas doesn't kill us first. So I go into my chat GPT and I said, generate a photo of two cowboys who are dying of heat off their horses, make it a little bit funny. And it generates one. And it says, hey, knowing your style, I generated this with a certain artist's style. And it was really good.
Dang.
And so I asked it, is this something that could be put on a canvas and printed? And it said, oh, yes, if you want, give me pictures of your office and I'll make canvas photos that look like these artist paintings that you can put in your office. And I was like, oh, man, I don't like that.
I want to see it.
Well, I'll show you, but I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because I appreciate your work more, Bruce and Tyler's work more. But I think as things become more artificial and more digital and more, artificial is the right word for it. There will be more demand, in my opinion, for quality, original, authentic. There's always going to be demand for that. Don't you think?
Oh yeah,
it would probably hurt. It probably hurts the Jaclay market today. Like if you have an artist that paints originals and they sell originals for tens of thousands of dollars, and they make artist-proof Jaclays that they would have sold for a few $100, it might hurt that market. It may hurt the print market. I don't know.
Me personally, it reminds me of a story that the very first photographer that I worked for 3 years. The first job he ever got in New York City is the photographer he was working for. He took that photographer's portfolio and took it to a client and said, this is what I shoot. And they knew that he didn't shoot that. They knew it's the other photographer. And I was like, dude, you had the balls to do that? Like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? And the same thing goes. He ended up getting the job, and they hired him, but because he was a smooth talker, and they were like, "We'll hire you, but you better be able to pull off what you said you can pull off." And so that, to me, somebody says, "Oh, here's a Bruce Green painting, original," and then I did this one with ChatGPT, or AI or whatever. I don't think. It's a fake, and it can't be. It might look the same, but the authenticity of
not
it,
the same.
Yeah, the authenticity of a paint stroke that somebody did, I think, can be recreated in AI and probably will look like that. But the artist and the other people that knows that it's gonna be. I can see that I can tell when things are when it looks.
Oh, sure.
And it'll probably get better and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't think that. I just really don't. Deep down in my heart, I hope it doesn't. Because what are we gonna do? That's what I worry about. What are we all gonna do once we're all just sitting around not doing anything? I know that.
We'll be socialists.
I mean, I don't know. AI can't go out and rope something. AI can't train a horse, or AI can't. It might be able to do what I do, but it can't do what you do. It can't sell a property. Can it sell a property? I don't know.
Off the record, I
don't know. Can it do what you do? Halfway.
Parts of it.
I don't know. I hope that there's a big kickback, and people, just like in 2020 when everything shut down, we're starting to move out of the cities and move back to the small town way of life and doing that kind of stuff. And I don't know what we're gearing up for, but I've started to change my own oil. My son was like, "Why don't we just change our own oil in our trucks, Dad?" All right, let's try it. Let's do it. I did it a long time ago when I was a kid. My dad made me do it. He made me change out the brakes on my truck. He made me change the oil all the time. And so I was like, well, all right, let's do it. Let's change it out. Took a whole afternoon, but whatever. Didn't take 10 minutes like the Quickie Lube places. But I felt better about it because I hear an impact wrench underneath my truck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
So, I think there's a spot for it. I'm from Oklahoma, but my heart belongs in Texas, and all these data centers, they make me sick too. They're eating up some of my favorite ranches. So that's another thing that I have to deal with is when I go places now, and I don't know what I'm gearing up for, but I go to these ranches and I'm like, I take full advantage of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And while I'm there, I don't overlook anything, because there's some ranches that I won't ever step foot on again because they've either sold it. And some people have to. I get it. If I owned a big old ranch, man, that big old paycheck would be something I'd have to really think about, So I get it.
I had a eminent domain and condemnation attorney in earlier that I visited with. And I made the comment that I understand we have to have transmission lines and pipelines and oil and gas production and power, and whether you have solar power, wind power, natural gas, whatever you have, coal power plants, whatever. And if we all are going to continue using digital devices, handheld devices and computers, I guess there's got to be data centers.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. And when I told her was, I hope we don't trade what's important to our state and the culture of our state for a future convenience.
Yeah.
And so the things that you can't get back is open spaces for not only for food and fiber production and wildlife habitat, but also just open spaces to look across and see nothing but open spaces.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yes.
And so you appreciate that very much. Mm-hmm. And your work captures that. And I prefer the West over the East because I can see a long ways.
Yep.
Trees are great.
Yeah, I love trees.
Trees are fine.
But I want to see the sunset and the sunrise.
Agreed. I want to see the sunset and the sunrise.
Yep.
I love Wyoming and New Mexico and the Trans-Pecos of Texas, and I've spent some time in Nebraska, but I love those areas because you can just see a long ways.
Yeah.
And once that dark sky is disrupted, you cannot get it back.
Yep.
And that, to me, perpetually changes the experience.
Yeah.
There's something that happens when you go to a place that has wide open skies and doesn't have light pollution and doesn't have a lot of traffic, and your tension settles, and it's very relaxing.
Yes.
And there's not that many of those places anymore that are accessible to many people. There's a lot of public land, but not everybody can go. I mean, everybody can, I guess,
Yeah.
but here in Texas, we're unique, right? Because we're 95% privately owned, and I really think that that private land is very critical to a functional democracy and a healthy economy. I really do believe that, and we have rights to do what we want to do with them, and that certainly those landowners have those rights. But it changes the experience for everybody when you look out across there, and you've got light pollution, noise pollution. No longer have dark skies. You go to Alpine, Texas, and look up at the stars, buddy, and it's different.
This episode is brought to you by the Mock Ranches Real Estate Group. At Mock Ranches, we specialize in representing buyers and sellers of farms, ranches, and recreational land across the state of Texas. Our team sold over $1.25 billion of Texas land, and we focus on helping landowners make smart decisions about their most valuable assets. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or simply want to understand the land markets better, get a hold of us at mockranches.com. Mock Ranches, Texas land represented right.
It's I love that part of the world. I don't think I could ever live down there, but I love going down there. Like Marfa, Fort Davis, Alpine, all those places over there. Something speaks to me whenever I'm there.
Yeah.
And if a client comes to me and they're like, "Where do you want to shoot?" I'm like, that's the first place that pops up in mind. It's either that or the Panhandle. Mm-hmm. And those are just, but there was 1 year, it was Keith Maddox was getting inducted into the Fort Worth where they put the stars on the ground.
Yeah.
He was getting his star put on the ground, and Michael Martin Murphy was up there. And this was Keith Maddox died in 2018, so it had to have been like 2019, maybe this was. And he got up there and was like giving a speech about the inductees and all that kind of stuff. And he talked about how the grass, like back in the day, the buffalo would come through here and there would be millions and millions of, bison would come through here, and
The American bison.
Yeah, the American bison. And, the grass is what, there was always there was trees, but there wasn't as many trees as there is now. So the grass was the main component of keeping things going as far as the environment and Mother Earth and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not quoting him very well, and I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about, but the way he said it spoke to me, because he was like, that grassland is very important to our way of life. And that is something that can keep us sustained as a society, is if we keep that grass out there. And it's good for beef. It's good for everybody. It's good for sunlight. It's good for Mother Earth and everything like that. And so I wish I could quote it better, but it was one of those deals where that's the one thing I took away from that speech. And I was like, well, I'll vote for Michael Martin Murphy.
Michael Martin Murphy's a cool guy.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's it's a touchy subject for lots of people, and I don't know enough to really. I know what my heart says, and that's pretty much all. That's all I got to go on. I don't really know the political side of everything and stuff like that. So I tend to steer clear of most all that kind of stuff, but I do like this way of life, and I don't want it to go away. I don't think it's going away. And so I like
The working cowboys kind of, that's, if you look back at the history of the world and then the history of our country, like the working cowboy is actually a pretty short part of our history.
It's pretty small.
From the trail drive, because the working cowboy that you and I think about today started like with the trail drives.
Mm-hmm.
And that was only like a 30-year, 40-year period. Mm-hmm. Shorter than that, really, before you started having settlements and fences and all the things. So the trail drives was a pretty short period of time. And then we still have components of that today. But you've met my son, Maddox. He's 12. Comes to Cowboy Gathering. He's kind of an old soul, too.
He's so awesome.
He's a cool kid. He's not perfect, but he's a cool kid. But, you know, I told Maddox, I said, Bub, you got to understand that you've gotten to meet here in this organization, you've gotten to meet some of the last guys that know what it's like to work at a chuck wagon, sleep in a teepee, because that ends with, I mean, you've done it.
Yeah, I've done it.
But that ends with this generation probably.
I hope not.
I mean, you think how many ranches still pull a wagon out?
I don't know. There's not a lot. Yeah. I heard Dale Brisby and Dusty Burson talking about it the other day, and they were like, and Dale was like, I don't want to sleep in my bedroll or in a teepee and all kind of stuff. I was like, man, come on, dude. Like, no way. Like,
I do.
I mean, too.
I think about a vacation to the mountains. My wife wants to stay in a really big house on the river, and I want to go sleep in a tent in the mountains.
Mm-hmm. So that X Cross X ranch that I went to this year, for the last couple of years, they're like, man, we're going to pull a wagon. We're going to pull a wagon. We're going to pull a wagon. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Please do it. And it wasn't like a chuck wagon. It was basically, there was 3 days, and we stayed, we were far out, and we stayed in a house, but we had a cook, and
Was that Homer?
No, it was his father-in-law, and he's a fireman, and so he cooked for us. But we all stayed in this house, and then from there we'd either trot out, or depending on how far away it was, somebody would load up in a truck and a trailer and meet us out with the Brandon irons and the Brandon pot and all that stuff. And you have to take a lot of stuff out there, and so I'm blanking on Seth's last name, but Seth lives up in Gruber, and he has a team. Actually, no, it was Chance. It was Chance's team. Lives up in Gruber. I think it was Seth's wagon, but I'm pretty sure I know it was 2 days for sure. It could have been 3. We loaded up the wagon and took a team to where we were branded.
No kidding.
And that was it. That was in the Brandon pen was the team of horses, mowing and something, I think it's mowing lefty or something like that. And I'm probably getting their names wrong, but yeah, for 3 days we took a wagon it had all our stuff, had the beer on the back, and had all the Brandon irons and the Brandon pot and all the shots and all the spray and all that stuff that we needed. And so we just,
how cool.
And we trotted a long ways, but that part of it is something that is, I think, honestly, it's extremely rare, but you know, I like it. You know, I called Dusty at the beginning of the year, and I was like, hey, I'd love to come out, you know, if you got an extra spot and we get the okay and all kind of stuff, I'd love to come out. And he was like, oh yeah, Slush, I'll put you on the list, you know, and all kind of stuff. And I didn't get to come out because my dates got taken up by other stuff or something like that. But it was like, I was like, hey, you thinking about taking the wagon out? And he was like, I haven't decided yet, you know. And that is something that, you know, it takes more effort to do it and all kind of stuff. But I don't know. I think it's, you know, everybody wants to sleep in their own bed. Everybody wants to take a shower and all kind of stuff. But I mean, let's just do it.
Living quarters out there and sleep in that.
But I mean, the first time I went to the Sixes, my truck was the only one there, and it caused some issues. Like it's a great story, but I almost got kicked out just because, you know, there was, you know, I drove my truck in there, and you know, and we had to There was a lot going on. So, I mean, it was, I understand where, you know, it's either a dry wagon, or B, it's a wet wagon, or it's, you know, only, you know, the boss can drive out here or something like that. Cause you know, people take full advantage of a couple of those things. So it's all good. That was 2017 when all that went down.
There's some rules. You know, one of the first significant conversations Slusher and I ever had was under Homer's wagon fly at spring gathering. Mm-hmm. And I wore my leggings under the wagon fly.
Yeah.
That's a no-no for Homer. It's not for everybody.
Not for everybody. I mean, it just depends on where you're going. Like sometimes the rules are lenient. Sometimes the rules are, you better stick to them or you're not going to get asked back.
Yeah.
Asked back.
I got you. Don't make the cook mad either.
Yes, don't. No.
Yeah.
No, always help out the cook, because I've been to places where we were trotting out that morning and it was me that brought it up, and I feel terrible that I brought it up, but I was like, what did we have for breakfast? And I didn't know what it was. It was dark. I couldn't see anything, but it was eggs, and the cook cooked the eggs so much that they were like crunchy and crispy, and I didn't know what I was eating. I was just eating it. And so I brought it up to the crew. I was like, hey guys, what did we eat this morning? I don't even know what that was. And so the next morning there was a cowboy standing over the cook with a flashlight being like, those eggs are done. And the cook would be like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. They almost got in a fist fight about it too. But that ranch I was at, he was like, I can't ask that cook to go home because then I have to cook.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. So the cook does a fantastic job, and you can't make the cook mad because he'll either leave or he'll make some really not so good stuff. Like people don't really want leftovers for dinner either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to make lunch, you need to make dinner too, or dinner and supper.
You ever seen the movie Monty Walsh?
I don't know. Have I?
You got to see what happens when they make the cook mad.
Oh, really?
Doesn't turn out good.
But I can understand it. And I don't know, like I see a lot of the guys, you know, I like to stay in contact with a lot of my cowboy buddies on Snapchat, and a lot of the Snapchats that I keep up with are food related. Like, what are you cooking? And 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 I don't know. I don't see the chuck wagon honestly dying. I honestly don't. I mean, Homer, the generation that is doing it right now is older, but I don't see it dying off. That's why I don't want to see the Red Steagall gathering in the Fort Worth Stockyards go away, because that chuck wagon cook-off is something that doesn't always. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't know where else it happens besides. I mean, I'm around it a lot, but that's for, you know, now that so many people come to the Fort Worth Stockyards, that is something for people to see. That people like I go to the Fort Worth Stockyards quite a bit, and it used to be just people speaking English. It's kind of like the Grand Canyon and a lot of other places. Like you go to those places and a lot of people aren't speaking English, and that's good that's good for anything. Like people coming overseas to go to Fort Worth, I think is amazing. And that happens at a certain time of year where the chuck wagons come in. They've already shut down those roads, which I think is great, but they bring in the wagons and everybody on horseback, and people get to see that. And I think that is great for the Western world, because people think that doesn't happen. You know, that the way that they cook, all that kind of stuff is, you know, those are just stories, but we get to see it and live it. And I wish it would happen more often. I really do.
I think it's the most valuable thing you do, Scott, is show that people still do those things. Yeah. It helps our business. I mean, really and truly.
Yeah.
There's somebody will see one of your photos of a real working cowboy on a ranch, and that'll inspire them to want to go get involved in that lifestyle. And 10, 20 years later, they end up buying a ranch.
Yep. That's what I want.
That's how it works.
That's what I want. I'm inspired to do it every day and to see how it's done and learn and look at it. And so many people that I know are like, wow, that's a really great photo. And I feel like I'm there. And that's what my photo is I want somebody to feel like they're there. Like they can smell the horse's sweat. They can smell the dust off the cows. You know, they can feel it. And, you know, I wish everybody could have that experience to see it in person. And, you know, if they just see it on their wall through a painting or a picture that a real photographer or a real painter did, then that's what I want.
I love it.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know. You got any other questions or answers or anything like that?
No answers.
No answers.
I've enjoyed it, man. It's just fun. We only get to hang out once a year.
I know.
You're one of my favorite Instagram follows.
I appreciate that.
I try to send you stuff every now and then just to stay in touch, but we really only get to hang out once a year.
We should do this every day. Talk like this every day.
If we can find a way to make it pay,
like
let's do
channel.
it.
I'm just joking. We don't want to talk about that.
The Scott and Kasey show. Where can people follow you?
Instagram is probably my best, would be the best thing. Slusher Photo, @Slusher Photo. I'm on Facebook too. I don't monitor that as much. I don't have any notifications, but if you do DM me, I answer every single DM I ever get. So cool. As long as it's real.
Is there a way they can pay you? Like, do you sell art? Do you sell photos?
Yes, I do. I sell my pictures. It's through me. I still do it old school where I want this picture printed out, and that's just through my DMs is basically it. I wish I had. I'm working on a website where you can do that, but I still like the way it's always been done of just letting me know, and we figure it out from there.
I'm gonna look through some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, any picture you see can be as big as a billboard.
Don't need one that big.
Let's put up some billboards around here.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the authenticity, and you're a genuine guy. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
I enjoy it. Y'all go follow Scott. You'll be glad you did. See you, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
That wraps us up. I appreciate you listening to the Landowner Insider. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to follow the show, leave us a review, and share it with another Texas landowner. For more insights, listings, and resources for Texas landowners, visit mockranches.com. Until next time, I'm Kasey Mock, your host. This has been the Landowner Insider. Go get 'em.